With the hatches off the boat, I got them back home to my little workshop. What I have to do is get the hatch dogs off, the hinge pins out, and the hatch control off. Now, one of the hatches, the hatch control, is already broken off, so it's going to have to go to the machine shop for sure. Now, the pins that work for the hinges are stainless steel roll pins, and they're pressed into this cast aluminum frame. So what I did was I took a punch and hammered them out. Kind of scary, but I got one set out off of one hatch, and the other hatch I just wasn't able to get out. Now on that one hatch I did get the hatch dog pins out, which are the same aluminum roll pin pressed in. So that hatch is ready to go, except it's the one that has the broken off nuts and bolts in it. So that's going to have to go, like I said, to the machine shop. Now I'm taking the other hatch to the machine shop too, and see if he can get those other pins out. As part of the teardown, I took both of the lenses out of the hatch, dropped them off at the plastic shop to have them cut me new ones. With the old lenses dropped off and the hatches also dropped off, it's time to move on to another project. Check in next week and see what happens with this job. This week I also continued working on the solar panel mounting. Got them to their final position. Required some reworking. But here you see the solar panels in their upright position, and here you see the solar panels folded down. I had to rework this mounting by putting in dedicated stanchion bases and stanchions to mount them on. With that completed, I then ran the bar from the stanchions end to end, and then put braces on each end of that bar to stabilize them. And then I was able to remount the solar panels and run the wires. With the wiring run inside the boat, I hooked up the charge controller quickly just to see if all the wiring was working. And yes, it is. Here we see the charge controller temporarily in place, showing battery voltage at 12.5. Now charging with solar, that is absolutely great. I won't have to rely on shore power or anything else. Hopefully to keep the batteries at float charge while I'm on the hard. With all old boats, there's always a PO, a previous owner. Here's a great example. This piece of creative plumbing runs from my cockpit drain to my through hole. Look at it, you'll notice it's made up of an old piece of hose, some PVC connections, and reducers. Now on top of that, this was shoved up into the bottom of the cockpit drain and siliconed into place. Needless to say, over time, this leaked. So I'm tearing this out, heading over to the shop, going to get some new parts and do this right. So what I did, I got a brass drain, drilled the old one out, and epoxied this in. Then hooked that up with some brass fittings and new hoses. As fate would have it, also going into that same through hole was the drain for the sink coming out of the aft cabin. The sink drain bottom side broke out. In looking at it, it seemed like it was just held in place with silicone too. Must have been the same repair person or previous owner. So I had to tear that out, run to the hardware store, get a new sink drain, get a new drain line, and once again I replaced the PVC and plastic fittings down at the through hole with good solid brass ones. Well, this makes sure that there's no more PVC on the starboard side of the boat. Last thing I want to talk about today is give everybody a budget update on the work. So here you see the spreadsheet where I'm saving that information. Any of the items that you see in red are items that I've already purchased and are actual prices. On the second column you'll see some X's, and those are for items that are completely finished and I know there won't be any more charges against that line item, like the boat waxing, the repair main oil seal, and the canvas work and refinishing. Now, all those items that are in black are items that I haven't started and therefore they're just a budgetary number, which is the rigging, the chain plates, port repair and sealing, the teak repair, that's for underneath the front hatches, and I'd like to do the tow rail in the back. The mast step, my forward mast, my main mast. The mast step has got 2 broken fingers on it and it's in pretty bad shape, so when I pull that mast out, I'm going to take that out, take it to the machine shop, have them remake that with some 316 stainless, and then get that area all cleaned up, of course. And new instruments, which I do have some things purchased for that, and we'll be doing that, an update on that in an upcoming vlog, so make sure you check back in. Replace the inverter, that is an actual number there, that's 345. Solar panel installation, that includes the solar panels, the wiring, the mounting, the charge controller, all the different hardware. That ended up costing a lot more than what I'd originally figured, probably 3 times as much. Wind turbine, I've purchased the wind turbine. I have to either modify the mount that I have that doesn't quite fit it or make a new one, so that'll be coming up in an updated video. The midship cleats, I've got 2 of them installed. I'm waiting for 2 more to come from the supplier to finish that out. Yard fees, that's just a catch-all spot there for any labor from the yard. I don't have any to charge against that yet. So total of real and planned, I've got $17,400 for this haul out for this year. It's going to be a pretty big job, so like I say, keep checking back with us. We love to hear from you, and as always, fair winds. As always, I'd like to thank everybody for stopping in. If this is your first time, give us a thumbs up, and if you really like what you see, you're interested in the updates, go ahead and let's click that subscription button there. We'd really like to get that number up, and as always, if you got any comments or questions, just leave them and we'll go ahead and answer them for you. Once again, thanks for stopping in.